In this video, I'm going to show you why I'm reading Cosmopolitan. Hi, I'm Dr. Lawrence Tan for Wellness 2.0. So, why am I reading Cosmopolitan? Well, it's not because Kim Kardashian's on the front cover. It's not because of the picture that's within there. There is some purpose for me to read Cosmopolitan. It's actually not necessarily the pages within it. I probably actually haven't read a page of this at all. What captured the attention, I want you to learn some lessons from Cosmopolitan here, is the headlines. This whole video is going to be talking about headlines. Now, why is headlines so important? Well, headline is what Eben Pagan calls an ad for an ad. What that means is that headline captures your attention of the prospect's mind, right? In your case will be your client, and it gravitates their attention and go, is that for me? And they're not going to read on what that particular, say, seminar that you're trying to promote, or maybe an advertising you're trying to put on the newspaper. They're not going to read what it says or the bullet points or whatever copy you have in it unless the headline captures their attention. So the headline is the ad for the ad, which means it has to gravitate the person's attention to say, is there something more for me to read on? And that's what it does. And headlines are so important. You see it everywhere. You see it in television. You see it, especially in the news. You see the headline scroll on the bottom of the television screen, and they capture your attention to keep the audience captured, their focused attention on the television screens. Well, in this particular magazine, in Cosmopolitan, where do you find this typically? Well, you typically will find Cosmopolitan in the grocery aisle, a grocery store. As you're waiting to pay for your grocery, waiting in line patiently, you happen to see a whole bunch of magazine racks. Now, this magazine, Cosmopolitan, has to fight against all the other magazines that's out there. I just happen to pick Cosmo. Just because it's well known to a lot of people around the world. Now, what happens here is that people scan, right? The headlines are actually written on the page. Now, first of all, typically it's usually the picture that captures your attention first, right? So that's why they always put a beautiful person, male or female, on the front cover of a magazine like Cosmopolitan, and then you actually move from the picture to the signs, which are obviously the headlines. And the headlines will capture your attention and go, what is going to gravitate towards me? What is going to interest me here? So this is how headlines work. Now, in your particular practice, if you want to attract the wellness clients into your practice based on your advertising in your newspaper, well, you're going to have to figure out what headlines attract to them. Now, headlines are really important. How you write a headline is more not about how you fancy wording or clever use of words. It's actually just very simple. You pick words you put together that actually provide a benefit or perceived benefit or result that is to the client that you're trying to attract. Right? So if for Cosmo, for example, their main clientele is for a female audience. So their headlines are going to be attracting the female audience. Now, in your particular practice, if you're going to do a seminar or talk in your practice, don't call it the chiropractic spinal awareness talk or spinal care class. No one cares about spine other than you, right? I know all chiropractors care about spine, but really, is your target audience, your patient, really do they really care about their spine? Of course not. What they care about is, how they're feeling. How is it going to benefit them? How is chiropractic going to affect them? But what is it specific that chiropractic affects in their mindset? Now, remember the stage of care that they're in at the moment. Now, I know we want to talk about wellness, but if you're going to be trying to promote a talk to a client that is just starting care with you, who doesn't know or understand what wellness care is, or what chiropractic is, or what naturopathy, if you happen to be a naturopath, is, then there's no point picking a headline that talks about wellness and longevity and life, because they're not at that point. Typically, they're coming into because of, well, we hate to say it, but they're here because of pain, right? So therefore, you want to choose a topic that is something that's geared towards their pain or suffering or their frustration that's going on in their life. And it might be their diet. It might be that they want to lose weight. So those are things on how you can actually create better headlines for your advertising, or more for, say, your talk, or advertising for your talk, or whatever you're trying to promote. So headlines are really, really important. So headlines here, for example, in this particular magazine really gravitates, for example, like 7 sweater dresses like Kim's under $80. Well, that's a benefit for the person, right? For a female, it's like, I want to dress like Kim, because in their mind they think that if I dress like Kim, I can actually will look like Kim Kardashian, right? But more importantly, it's under $80. So it's a specific number. They think, oh, I'm going to dress like Kim for a cheap price, right? But I still will get all the benefits that Kim Kardashian will give me by dressing like her for under $80. So that is a typical headline that will capture the attention of the customer. So what is a headline for your customer that will attract them to come to, say, your talk, or come to your practice to basically get the services or product that you're trying to offer? So headlines is so important. Now, if you're stuck on how to do it, use the word how to. Or start with the words 3 things. For example, you might say, come and learn how to create a better back. It's terrible that way, but I mean, it's a start, right? You start brainstorming from there. Or 3 things to create a better back. Those things are just starting points where you can actually create more energy around it. What about 3 things on how you can lose weight? Or how about a bit more intrigue? Something like 3 things you need to avoid when losing weight. Now that's intriguing. That has secrecy. That has something to go, I wonder what those 3 things are. I need to know what those 3 things are. That's what your patients will be thinking. And they're going to want to attend the seminar. And they're going to want to ask you, what are those 3 things? Just tell me. And you're going to be saying, well, you're going to have to attend my seminar. And so that's why those seminars, then you can actually talk about chiropractic, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about and actually guide them through. You want to tell them those 3 things, but how they relate to the whole thing, that's where the content is. But the headline is what sells them to come into your practice or come into your seminar. So this is why headlines are so important. So go ahead, create some headlines. I'd love to hear some of your famous headlines you created and help share amongst other people so that they can get some benefits out of it too as well. I look forward to hearing about what your thoughts about this video. No comments on Kim Kardashian's, please. Just tell me what you think about headlines and how you can create better headlines for yourself. I'm Dr. Lawrence from Wellness 2.0. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.